Good morning and welcome to 7 at 7 from the Economic Times podcasts, a daily financial news capsule to get you clued in for the day. It's Monday, the 23rd of September, and I am your host, Bhaskar Datta. Let's kick off the week with major international developments. Leaders of the Quad Group, which includes India, Australia, Japan, and the US, expanded joint security steps in Asian waters in a meeting hosted by outgoing US President Joe Biden. Biden meeting Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese in Delaware over the weekend, stressed the importance of maintaining the Quad, which was established amidst shared concerns over China, Reuters reported. The leaders announced joint Coast Guard operations next year that will include Australian, Japanese, and Indian personnel spending time on a US Coast Guard vessel. The countries plan increased military logistics cooperation. Here are latest developments in the war in the Middle East, which has seen a rapid escalation over the last few days, with Israel and Lebanon-based Hezbollah exchanging heavy fire through airstrikes and rockets. Reports on Sunday, citing local media and quoting Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, said that the country is looking at a plan to employ siege tactics against Hamas in northern Gaza. The plan suggests that Palestinian civilians would be instructed to evacuate northern Gaza, which would be then declared a closed military zone. Remember, it's been almost a year since the war broke out in the Middle East, killing tens of thousands and causing significant economic disruptions in the region. Turning to domestic news, Tata Sons, the parent company and bulk shareholder of the Tata Group, has reason to celebrate. In a significant relief for the company, the adjudicating authority of the Goods and Services Tax Department has dismissed a GST demand of over Rs 1,500 crore on the company over a settlement deal with Docomo. The order by the adjudicating authority will act as a precedent for companies engaged in arbitrations, officials close to the matter told ET. In 2019, the Directorate General of GST Intelligence had claimed 18% GST on the $1.27 billion that the Tata Group holding company had paid to the Japanese telecommunications company in 2017 to settle a dispute with Tata Teleservices. In a step towards improving India's labor productivity, the government is planning to develop an index that will map the demand and supply gap of workers in recognized occupations in every state. The Ministry of Labour and Employment is developing the Occupational Shortage Index in consultation with the International Labour Organization, a government official said. This is aimed at long-term labour market planning and development of policies to facilitate employment generation. The index, which will map the demand-supply gap for both white and blue-collar occupations, will help rank states on the robustness of their job market based on identified parameters. If there's one Indian financial asset that foreign players can't seem to get enough of, it's debt. Banks, on behalf of their international clients, have requested the Reserve Bank of India to relax some norms for foreign investment in corporate debt to capitalize on surging global interest in local fixed income instruments, following the country's inclusion in a JP Morgan bond index, multiple sources told ET. Banks have requested the RBI for some relaxations, such as the rule that allows FPI investment only in corporate bonds, with a minimum residual maturity of above 1 year, subject to a 30% cap. Remember, foreigners have bought around 1.5 lakh crore rupees worth of Indian sovereign bonds over the last year, following JP Morgan's decision to include the country in its EM index. When it comes to movers and shakers in Indian stock markets, IPOs have really been the flavor of the season this year. Remember all the buzz surrounding the Bajaj Finance IPO? Well, the week ahead will be super busy for the primary market, as a total of 11 initial public offerings will be opening for subscription, including 2 from the main board segment, and 14 new companies which will be available for trading on bourses. 11 companies launching IPOs cumulatively will be raising Rs 900 crore from the market. These include NBFC Manba Finances, KRN Heat Exchanger and Refrigeration, Tech Era Engineering, and Rapid Valves, among others. We end with some encouraging news about India's IT industry, which has witnessed a volatile few years. What with the COVID crisis, higher US interest rates, and concerns about the global economy. Indian IT majors are signing more deals this quarter than earlier, indicating a good pickup in demand momentum after a deep lull. And many more strong deal wins are on the cards with the US Federal Reserve reducing interest rates. The country's key IT services providers globally signed at least 33 deals in July and August, data sourced by ET showed. Tata Consultancy Services has announced 4 deal wins, including Ireland-headquartered fashion retailer Primark, Rolls-Royce, Sydney Marathon, and most recently McDonald's Philippines in the first 2 months of the second quarter. Its closest rival, Infosys, has closed agreements with Sector Alarm, Delaware Department of Labor, TDC Net, ServiceNow, Metro Bank, and Finnish postal service provider Posti Group. That's all for today. Thank you very much for tuning into 7 at 7 from the Economic Times podcast.